Hey guys, Tisha here, and we are back for another Sister Wives Season 6 review. Let me start off by saying that this episode and the next episode to me could kind of be combined into one, but I'm still going to give two separate reviews because that's how we've been doing it, so might as well keep on doing it that way. We begin this episode finding out that it's been a year of Janelle working out with Sean, and because of the different results that she's seen with her body, working on her stamina and her balance and things of that nature, she's decided that she wants to do a 5K. Robin, kind of like a team thing, decided to get all of the adults' shirts, but she's worried about Janelle's because she feels like it may be too small because Janelle's is an extra large. Now, when they first started showing this, I'm like, okay, you mean to tell me that Janelle, being the size that she is, you thought it was a good idea to get her an extra large? You trying to play her because Janelle would obviously prefer a bigger size. So Janelle seems a little skeptical about it. Christine is a little apprehensive as well. Like, okay, is this thing going to fit her or not? But Janelle goes in the bathroom or her bedroom, comes out, and she has on the shirt, and it's actually fitting her. Now, you can tell that Janelle's a little uncomfortable because she's not used to having clothing that's so close on her skin, but it did fit her, and it fit her well. It looks like it's something that holds her. As Janelle walks out, I couldn't help but notice how Cody was staring at her. Cody was looking at her as if this was his first time seeing her for her fullness, like seeing her complete shape. She says that Cody hasn't seen this side of her in years, like he's accustomed to her when she was wearing her 4X clothing. And I'm looking like, okay, at this time, was Cody enjoying his wife's cookie? Because how is it that he was so shocked by her shape and seeing her figure when she came out? Are they not having sex? I mean, it's a valid question because here's the thing. If this is somebody that you're intimate with, they tend to notice certain things about you. Like, I would think that it didn't take her coming out in a shirt for him to see her curves. I would think he would see that every fourth night when he came over to the house. But I guess, I mean, what do I know? Janelle says that the ladies and Cody noticing her curves made her blush, and as a result of them talking about it so much, she doesn't know what to do with herself. They all say how amazing she looks in the confessional, while Mary is stone-faced. Even though Mary was not there for that scene, Mary could have easily said that Janelle looks good, or yes, she has lost a lot of weight or something. But Mary was just sitting there like, okay, why are we talking about this? If you haven't watched, look back at it. When they're having this discussion in the confessional, Mary is the only one who does not chime in about the way Janelle looked. And I just was like, okay, the least she could do is smile while they're complimenting her. But no, she was just like, I wonder why. We find out that Mary couldn't go because she had orders to complete for their business. I don't understand why Mary was the only one that could complete them. Maybe they're on some sort of rotation, but she had to stay back to do that. As we see them at the race, we find out that it looks like Christine participated. I'm not really sure. We know Janelle definitely didn't, that she sat on the sideline. Not Janelle. What's the girl's name? The bird, Robin. We know that Robin did it because Robin was sitting on the sidelines due to her back issues. Robin does not exercise, y'all. Robin told us in season 5, I think it was when they were going to the gym, that she doesn't need to exercise. She's just there because they need to do it. So, what was that for? Either way, it's not Robin's thing. But she's going to blame it on her back this time. As they're prepared to start, Janelle is really in her head about what people are going to think about this obese woman doing this 5K. And I'm sitting here like, the only thing they're going to think is go Janelle. They don't care what your size is. One thing that I've learned, because I've done a few races myself when I was younger and even older, one thing that I noticed is that no matter what your size, what your abilities are, when it comes to those type of races, everyone supports each other. I've seen people who've completed the race find other people to help them finish the race. So the fact that Janelle was so concerned about what people would think about her running lets you just see how many insecurities Janelle has always had when it comes to her appearance. Because at this point, Janelle is carrying her weight very well. Like, she doesn't look bad. She actually looks good. And I've always thought that Janelle was one of the prettier wives. The race starts, and rather than walking with her, even though they're supposed to be doing this as a team and they got their shirts and all that other stuff, Cody leaves her, while Sean, who is Janelle's trainer, stays with her. And I think he has two of his children with him, because he's pushing kids and he's walking with Janelle. She said that, I thought that because we said this was a team thing, that we were all going to start the race together. I didn't expect for all of them to stay with me, but I at least thought that Cody would start with me. And Cody said that he thought that supporting her was being there for the race. He didn't think that he would have to race with her. And I just don't understand why, number one, this is the common sense. And two, why, if it wasn't common sense, why Cody and Janelle didn't discuss this prior. Because I don't think that Cody could be that dense. Janelle says that even though Gabe and Savannah went with Cody, Cody was trying to keep his pace. So she thinks that's part of the reason why they came back. But they came back to run with her. Christine makes a joke and says he left the kids because he already established his pace. All the wives, with the exception of the bird, laugh. He says, "This does not make me the evil dude." Janelle says, "No, I just, thought you would start with me." We hear her talking about how intimidated she was about running with the public, and how much she was like, what are they going to think about this size of a woman running? But she did it. And she felt really accomplished doing it. And Janelle says that since being here in Vegas and since working out and things of that nature, she really is rediscovering who she is. So we have Janelle on one spectrum, who's learning who she is, and Mary on another, who doesn't know who she is, which may kind of show why there was such a disconnect between these ladies. We then find out that the ladies are going to San Francisco for a Sister Wives trip. Aspen, who is the oldest of Christine's children, is worried about how hectic it's going to be for her because she's going to have more work to do. Cody says that he wants for all of their meals to be together as a family. Aspen seems a little stressed out about it, but they're going to get it done. I still do not feel like a teenager should have to worry about these type of things, but it seems like Aspen is so used to it that she's just ready to jump in, do what she has to do for the week until her moms come back. Aspen says normally when the moms leave, she watches the kids without her father, and she'd rather it be that way. Now, I'm assuming like when they have meetings and stuff like that, because the way they presented this was like, this is the first time that all the women are going away together. So I'm either that, or maybe like if mom and dad go out for something. That's what she was talking about. Some of the mothers are worried if Cody will be able to handle all these kids. We hear from Mary that she is looking forward to going to San Francisco because she is from the Bay Area. Christine then says, "Are you looking forward to going with us?" Mary doesn't answer. Christine repeats it again. Mary says, "I don't know how to answer the question." And this is the thing about Mary that often bugs a lot of people, because it's a simple yes or no. You're sitting here saying that you don't know, when all you had to say was yes because of this, or I'm not sure because of that, but I don't know how to answer the question. She says that she thinks it could be a lot of fun, but she's nervous because this is something that they don't do often. And that would have been the perfect explanation without all of that other stuff beforehand. All four of them have been together, but they've never been together on a trip like this. So it makes not just her nervous, but Christine admits to her being nervous as well. So after 2 years, this is the first time this family has taken the moms any type of trip without Cody, or had any type of significant bonding moment without Cody, and we're supposed to believe that they were working on their dynamic and they were close. Cody then needs reassurance because at this moment nobody's talking about him, they're just talking about the trip. And he says, do you guys think you'll miss me for the 4 days that you're gone? The fact that he answered his question, I'm like, okay, Cody just has to make the moment about him in some sort of way. Christine responds, not as much as you're gonna miss us having to watch 15 kids. All the moms laugh. Robin talks about how they haven't really made time for each other, talking about the wives, because they've been more concerned with their marriages and raising their kids, making sure that they have time for their kids and Cody. And they've been lazy making time for each other. And I just feel like this is because they didn't really want to make time with each other. One thing that I've learned in being an adult, and no, I'm not a mom of 15, I'm a mother of 1, and then my dog baby. One thing that I've learned over the years is people make time for what they want to make time for. And that if it was a thing where they really wanted to bond with each other, the fact that they live so closely, they could have designated like Friday nights from this time to this time, it's just us, or done things in the town, state, country, wherever. They could have done things locally together that showed that they were making an effort. So this is not something that they really wanted. As the bird is talking, y'all, I could not help but notice that she had herpes on her lip. And over the years, I've seen Janelle with them and Robin with them. And I was like, ooh, the whole time she's talking, I'm just looking at the herpes and I'm like, okay, yeah. How many people are going to get that? Because we know Cody cannot resist kissing Robin. So is he going to be the one that passes this thing around? I know, the things that I think of. We hear that this is going to give the ladies bonding time and that this is going to help them prepare for the commitment ceremony. Mary says that she doesn't know what they're actually celebrating, like what this commitment ceremony is really supposed to be, because in her head, it would be more about the different relationships, how they should be all building to have more comfortable relationships as well as get closer, but she doesn't really feel like that's what they're doing. To me, that sounds like the exact reason why they told us originally that they were doing this, that they wanted to establish a new norm for their family. They wanted to come closer. They wanted to unite all these other things. So her saying it's hard for her to think about it when her heart isn't in it lets me know that at this point, steps were not being made for the family to really come closer. I feel like all of this was, we're filming formality. Let me know down below what you think. Cody says that this trip is supposed to be about business and about finding dresses for the commitment ceremony, but he really thinks that it's going to just be about them bonding, which it was, because we know that they weren't successful with the whole dress thing. The ladies leave. Cody sits down and he begins to try to plan things out with the kids. Even though he cannot grill, he says that he's going to grill chicken, hot dogs, hamburgers, and steak will be for the older kids. Repeat, I said, even though he cannot grill, he plans to grill all these different forms of meat. He then lets the kids know that his purpose is to try and do all of this at one time, and then the older kids can make the sides later, and that they can use leftovers for lunch. He put so much effort in this, I tell you. We then see him cooking. As he's on the grill, Isabel runs outside with the other kids. They're barefoot. He brings them back in. And we see them panicking because Isabel messed up her toe. She tore it up really badly. He cleaned it, washed it out, put peroxide on it, put a Band-Aid on it, but he forgot about the steak. So, of course, what happens? He burns the steaks. But let's be clear. He would have burnt the steaks whether something happened to Isabel or not, because we saw him burn the steaks when they had that party and he was watching the grill the entire time. We then see the ladies arrive in San Francisco, and Robin has Solomon because he can't sleep without her and he's still breastfeeding. More like he can't sleep without her. That's why she brought him. Doesn't have anything to do with him breastfeeding, because at this point he's 1. Yes, there are women who breastfeed past that. I was not one of them. As soon as my child hit 1, the shop was closed. But there are women who do it longer. And let's take this into consideration. If he's 1, milk is not the main source of his nutrition. At this point, he's eating additional foods as well. So if it was really about the breastfeeding, then she could have easily pumped when she knew that this trip was coming up, store some stuff up so he can get his either morning, nightly, whatever, however she was doing it, get his dosage of milk. But Robin spoiled that child, much like she spoiled all her other children. And now as a result, she has to bring the baby. Best advice I can give you if you're a new parent or if you're becoming a parent, do not spoil your child to the point where they have to sleep with you. I know they feel so good when they're in your arms and they're sleeping, but this creates something that you don't want if you can avoid it. I gave this same advice to my cousin, and my cousin did not listen to me. And now she's paying the price because Auntie Tisha is not watching any baby if the baby can't be put down. I'm going to just keep it real. I unspoiled my godson from that. And I warned his mom when I was over there. I was like, look, I spent 2 weeks with her. I was like, look, we're going to undo this. This is not going to be something that we're going to keep going through. He's going to cry. As long as he's fed and he's changed, it's okay if he cries. And we unspoiled him. And, you know, good for us. But I'm just saying that to say they created a mess with this. And now Robin is paying the price. I don't know who she thinks she's fooling, because we've seen him have a birthday. So he didn't need the milk. And I want to know where the nanny is, because does he need the nanny to sleep too? Like, I just don't know. I don't know. We then meet Kendra, who's been communicating with Robin. She's a friend. We don't know how long they've been friends, but she's there to help the ladies visit different shops in the area. I don't quite understand how this was supposed to be a business thing, because you go into different shops to look at clothing and try on clothing doesn't give you a wholesaler or something like that. It just gives you clothing ideas, and you can do that by looking online. You didn't have to come all the way to San Francisco like this is the go-to place to buy clothing in order to look for something. So this was just an excuse, I guess, for them to get out. Christine is not very excited about going to all these different shops because she doesn't really like the whole shopping thing, going from store to store. Also, because they're going to be looking at a lot of clothing that they cannot even wear. Janelle agrees because she says the sizes are definitely going to be a barrier, and they're going to see things that can't fit them. I don't even know why they would go to stores that don't offer clothing in all sizes, because if you wanted your business to be open market and to really have a nice plus size athletic line or whatever it was they wanted, then you should have went a different route. We see Robin telling them, because this first store doesn't have anything for the ladies to try on, that she'll try and clothes for them. She's really trying to make an effort, and that doesn't make sense. I don't want to see someone who's a size 4 trying on something when I'm a size 14. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, why would I do that to myself? Because what's on a size 4 oftentimes does not look the same on a size 14. And then you have to think about curves and all that other stuff. Women, you will find women who are the same exact weight who look different in clothing based on their curves. So that was pointless. You're just filming scenes at this point. We see Robin saying that she's uncomfortable because she doesn't want anybody's feelings to get hurt because they can't try on the clothing. We're going to say that it was like 2013 at this time. Hell, even if it was 2010. They could have looked up the various stores in the area where they planned on going and see what the selection of clothes looked like, as well as find out what sizes they offered. If the store didn't have an online shop, they could have called to see. So this whole thing to me is kind of annoying. We see her trying a lot of clothing. We see legs and arms that we find out that they don't normally show. They have modesty standards in their religion. And a lot of these outfits don't meet the modesty standards. We see the ladies go to another store that is for plus size women. So the other three ladies get to enjoy it. And the owner very matter of factly says, when Robin wants to try on something, we don't have anything for you here. And I was like, oh yes, let her see how it feels. They try on clothes. Some of the things they like, some of them they don't. Janelle's surprised by the colors and all that other stuff. I didn't see them taking any pictures of anything. I didn't see them making any notes of anything. They were just doing this to film. Because if you really like stuff in that store, I would think you would take a picture of the outfit, write down a SKU number, something to show that this is like, okay, yes, we definitely want this for our business. We then see the ladies go to the fabric store because they decide that they're probably going to have to get their dresses made. They pick out the different swatches that they like. Christine talks about having McKelty make her dress, etc., etc. We see the ladies go to a pub. While at the pub, Mary says to Robin, are you going to judge us if we drink beer? Robin says you can do whatever you want. Best believe that before that trip was over, if Robin didn't text, she called to let the bald eagle know what was going on with the ladies. You cannot tell me that she was not an informant. I believe that she was. We find out that it's against their religion to drink, but Christine wants to. I say to myself, you guys are telling these kids that a lot of this stuff is against their religion and how they're not supposed to do this and they're not supposed to do that. But here you all are on national television doing the very thing that you told them not to do. Practice what you preach if you're going to preach. No judgment. I'm just saying, let's call it what it is. Robin says Cody won't have a problem if they take a sip. Janelle says he doesn't control me and he doesn't control us. And Robin says, but no, he is your husband. And like she tries to play it off. Because Janelle's looking at her and the ladies are looking at her. I'm telling you guys, Robin learned very early on that Cody was bothered by his wife's independence. Her needing to let them know that it is your husband means nothing. These women know that that's their husband. They've been married to him for over 16 years. You're the newbie, so you didn't need to tell them that. Janelle says he doesn't try to tell me what to do. That's just not the type of guy he is. Cut then to seasons 16 and 17, where that's exactly what he's been trying to do, is to tell the wives what to do. And as a result, the wives rebelled. So that wasn't the dynamic that they created. But that seems to be what Cody wanted, and he just didn't speak up and let it be known he wanted those things until he experienced a wife like Robin, who allowed him to lead. And I use the quotes because I think that Robin led him more than he even realizes it. We go back to Vegas, where we see all the kids getting dressed to head to the neighbor's house because they're going to swim in the pool. As Cody is in the hot tub with the neighbors and two of the older teens, McKelty comes over and says, Dad, anybody asks about us? We find out from Cody that in their religion, when a child asks this, it's because they want to know if any young man has asked if they could court them. This is the procedure. When you want to court, you approach the leader and you approach the father to see if it's okay to date that girl. McKelty really was boy crazy, because at 17, you're thinking about whether or not you're being courted. Cody says that they're all too young and he wants them to be at least 19. He also says that he wished that they didn't say this in front of the neighbors because it's kind of hard to explain to the neighbors. Cody really was worried about what other people thought, and for him to be so concerned about other people's thoughts, why did you all go public other than money? Because when you put yourself in the spotlight, you're leading room for public opinion. The kids, I didn't understand, if they didn't want to be a part of polygamy, then why would they even expect someone to ask permission to date them in that manner? Especially if at this point you're not even around people who are a part of your church. And how often are you back in Utah where you're being exposed to them? I already said Cody didn't want to talk about it in front of Bill and Deidre, that's the neighbors. Bottom line is, he doesn't want them to date. He wants them to focus on college. We find out Bill and Deidre don't care about any of it. They enjoy them. They think the kids are well behaved, and they think the family is nice. We then see the wives at the dinner table eating, and Cody begins to call each wife. Now, I don't remember him calling Mary. He probably didn't. They didn't just show it. But we hear about how awkward it is for the wives to talk to Cody when they're all in the same room together. Why are these people sister wives? If you can't get on the phone with your husband and have a conversation, a basic conversation, without it being awkward, then there's really a bigger problem here. They joke about how he'll say everything's okay on the phone in the beginning, and then by the end of the conversation, he's telling you all the different things that have went wrong. Mary again mentions how uncomfortable it is for the wives to be speaking to Cody at the table. I don't understand why this is such an issue, with the exception of maybe her and Cody are having problems at this point, and maybe they weren't in a good place, because it wasn't like he was on speakerphone saying, "Ooh, baby, I love you, and I can't wait to get next to you when you come home." He told each wife that he loves them and asked them how they're doing, and tells them what was going on with their children. Or allowed, like in Christine's case, truly got on the phone and was speaking to her mom. So Mary finding this so uncomfortable. Mary, what's going on? Robin says, if you were to ask Cody, he would say that he would love for all of us to be more open like this at the table. He would love to be on speakerphone. We hear about how he'll send a group text that says, "I love you guys." And Mary's like, okay, what do you want me to do with that? And Christina's like, "I want my own personal message." Well, Robin will be like, "We love you too." Robin was not as bothered by the other wives as it seems like both Christine and Mary were. Janelle was a little bothered at times, but not to the extent that those other two were. Christine says, "Just don't send me a group text. Send me my own individual text." Later, we see the kids go bowling. Cody talks about how it was interesting that none of the kids asked them for help, but they didn't ask him because Cody sucked. We kept hearing how Cody was trying to talk about the science of it, according to Maddie. Maddie's like, he's trying to explain the science of it all, but yet he's doing awful. I love that Maddie called him out on stuff. Meanwhile, Aspen is striking left and right. Cody sucks really bad and it's aggravating him. Aspen ends up winning overall. They had a good time. They leave. All right. So it's the next day, and we see that Truly looks very pale, lethargic, somber. She's just sitting there. Aspen says she kept her up all night because she kept moving from place to place and that she thinks she's really missing her mom. Cody says that she doesn't have a fever, that this started yesterday, and she's still acting like this today. Aspen and McKelty are very much so freaked out. They seem more concerned about it than Cody because they can tell something is really, really wrong. So even though this is Cody's child, the children are noticing more that this is probably a little bit more serious than they think, and that she's coming down with something. Aspen says, McKelty says, "I'll be glad to have mom come back because she really makes it less boring and she's fun." We find out from Aspen that on the first day, Cody called her 16 times, and this was 16 times after 3 p.m. So as much as Cody tries to act like he wants these women to believe like he's got it handled, he obviously doesn't, and the teens very much so helped him out with everything. Cody then admits that he would not be willing to watch this many kids without his teens. We see the wives arrive back home and they're all happy. McKelty says because Christine comes in, we see Truly. She picks up Truly. Truly hugs her, leans on her. And McKelty says, "Mom, she was in the room and she was bawling to the point where she's crying really, really hard, and she wouldn't let us touch her. And then she would let us touch her for a little bit, and then she'd go back to crying again." We find out there was no point for them going to San Francisco. They could have done everything that they did there in Vegas. Cody says they went shopping for 3 days and didn't come back with anything. They came back empty-handed. We find out from the ladies, but they bonded. They all came home, ate dinner, sat there. Janelle reflected and said, as I'm sitting here looking at it, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm glad we're back home and I'm glad we're family. That was the end of that episode. You guys let me know what you think. Do we know what the real point of them going to San Francisco was? Because they truly didn't accomplish anything. If you have not already, please like the video. Please comment. Help me get in that algorithm for Sister Wives. I would really, really like to see this channel expand. I am on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I would like for it to happen sooner than later. Until next time.